One thing I've clung to is the power of moments. Just the making any routine moment magical if you can. Being present enough to recognize the moments that will matter the most.
Welcome to the Deep End Podcast with Dave and Jen. Today's episode is with our good friend Joey Robinson as he talks about what it looks like to take risk in life while doing it with incredible integrity. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Deep End. Here we are. Your hosts, Dave and Jen here, and we are with a special guest. I feel like every guest is special, but I particularly love Joey.
So far they have been.
Yeah, no, they have. It's been
really
all great.
Special.
But we got Joey Robinson here. Been with Movement for how long?
4 years.
4 years. Yep.
Yeah.
And you
Wow.
came from coaching baseball, right?
Yeah, high school baseball coach and teacher.
Dang. And then makes a jump to the mortgage industry.
Yeah, why mortgages?
So COVID kind of put my life in perspective, with kids and family and what I was doing. I thought I was put on this earth to be here to, mentor young kids, and kids are always on my heart.
Yeah.
And we were in the process of an adoption in China that has been shut down since
No way.
August of last year. They officially closed the borders, closed the doors, said the whole adoption process was shut down. But
Wow.
Back to 2020, 2021, when schools got shut down, the baseball season got shut down, I spent the summer of COVID at Longview Golf Course as a mowing greens and raking bunkers, and had to get out of the house doing something, right? And as I'm out there, God just showed up in a bunch of different ways, and had me rethink a whole lot of my life and what I was doing. And so I had a good friend who was also an assistant coach of mine. It was a loan officer. He's like, "Hey man, I didn't know what I was doing. I was looking into IT. I was looking at all these other things. I thought, I could go make a little bit more money for the family, because at the time, once our son got here from China, I knew that it was going to change everything. That my wife wasn't going to be able to work. We couldn't definitely support on a teacher's income.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about what could I do. What could I do to make $100,000 a year?
Right.
And there's not a whole lot of options out there, guys, by the way. Just, going from teacher to something like that. And he said, you should, all it takes is being great with people, great with numbers, and you're good with both of those. So he's like, but I can't hire you. And okay, well, thanks, bro.
Oh no.
He's like, I could, but I feel guilty about it because I couldn't feed you. I couldn't, give you enough. So he's like, but you should go check out Movement. They've got this, good
Wow.
inside program, that you can get your feet wet, and after you get your feet wet a little bit and you're a little more comfortable, then I can hire you. And about 2 months later, after I got hired, he went, I'm never getting you, am I?
Yeah.
You're in.
It all happened very fast. It was God made it way easier than it should be, because it was not a decision I wanted to make. I was very happy coaching and teaching and being with the kids, but I realized out there on that golf course, not playing at Longview, but out there mowing greens, raking bunkers, and all this stuff, that that this was something that God was calling me to do. And I went, all right, I'm going in. And he made it way easier than it should be.
Wow.
Yeah. I feel like, man, you were on the fast track to success when you made that move. How long when you came in, were you D2C?
Yeah, D2C.
Okay. And how long were you there for?
So April 21 through August 22.
And then you made the jump to retail.
Right.
Wait, for those that don't know, tell us about D2C real quick.
D2C is direct to consumer. It's like our inside team that fields leads and it takes in applications that were not assigned to anybody. They don't have an agent, and Zillow leads and things like that. And it was obviously 2021 was an easy time to start. As a baseball guy, I took it as batting practice. Just knowing that you could pick up the phone and write a loan at the time. It's pretty easy with 2.5% interest rates.
Right.
Not
Just the
quite
more
as
reps
easy
you get.
as 7.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a different world now.
Yeah, but started there. Had some great mentors, great people around me, and it was easy to learn the business really quickly.
And then
Wow.
you're there for like maybe a year.
Right.
What caused you to jump to retail? I mean,
That was always the goal.
okay.
But obviously I didn't want to jump into it until I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
And so after, so let's see, in D2C, so inside loan officers, like some get paid like a salary,
Sure.
right? So it's a little bit more consistent, a little bit easier.
Not just
knowing,
straight commission.
right?
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm getting fed leads and that there's something that's coming in constantly. It was a lot more stable, I guess, for me at the time. But as I started telling everybody I knew, what I was doing, and had a pretty big, sphere of influence, I guess you could say, in the area. And anyway, so then got connected with a few friends that also were realtors, and started getting a few outside referrals coming in from those people that weren't leads. And then I was given the option of, do I want to continue with the salary, or hey, by the way, you could also do no salary and more commission. I went,
Yeah.
okay, tell me more.
Yeah,
Like, what was this all about? I started doing all the math and went, yeah, I think I can do this.
That didn't scare you at all?
No, for some reason, no, it didn't. It should have. It absolutely should have. It scared my wife.
Yeah.
My wife was when you're on 100% commission now, right? When she's like, so if you don't do any loans,
We don't need-
don't
Yeah.
get paid. Went, correct. Yes, that's correct. So made that decision early 22, like around April or so,
Yeah.
and from April through June, July, it was it was great. It was a beating frenzy. I was still doing well, even though rates were coming up and everything. And then somewhere around June, July, a good friend, Michael Caldwell,
Yeah.
good buddy, right?
Yeah.
He had made the move over to retail, and I started talking to him, going, "Hey man, what do you think?" And he's like, "Dude, I should have done this a lot sooner."
Yeah.
So here's the fun part. Here's the really interesting part of the story. I knew that this was not going to be a easy decision, but I started talking to everybody about it, talking to my wife, talking to my guys in the D2C group, and started looking into this. And I knew my wife wasn't going to be on the board. She wasn't going to be with this.
Yeah.
Guys, I made the decision and didn't tell her.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I told her
That
like.
typically
my
gets you in
g-
big trouble in
yeah.
marriage. But
Yeah, it was not a good decision. I do not recommend this, and I don't ever plan on doing this ever again. But told her about 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
What
Yeah.
did she say? I mean,
Oh,
how did
she wasn't
react?
happy.
Yeah.
She wasn't happy at all.
No.
No.
I can imagine.
I was in the doghouse for a little while, and but
Do you ever bring that up now? It's probably not the best. This is probably why I'm not married. But like, maybe it was a good decision. Look how great it turned out.
I don't ever bring it up, but if it comes
Smart
up,
man.
Yeah.
I just go, man, I'm glad that worked out.
yeah.
Well, you had some more inspiration behind that to be successful quickly. You're like, I got to make this work.
That is
Right?
true.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So you don't mind putting the weight on your back.
no, I don't. I tell everybody I talk to, especially when we're talking about rates and plans and stuff. It's like, guys, I have a different tolerance for risk than most people.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give you my advice on what I would do.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
go for it. So, that's interesting. I mean, you kind of just have a bold faith at just jumping in things. Has it always been like that for you? growing up?
No. Like since moving from coaching and doing something that I loved and thought that this was what I was called to do, to jumping into mortgages. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. It's a
Um,
huge shift.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a big time shift, and but when I did make the move, it was obvious that God's favor was just on me.
Yeah.
That I was doing, excuse me, I was doing things that no other, not a lot of loan officers were doing. Having a tremendous amount of success in the most difficult market we've had in 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about that. I mean, because I remember you started blowing up, and it was like, what's Joey doing? Like, what are you doing differently? What's your formula?
So I got that question asked all
So
the
many
time.
times.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm learning this thing. like, what are you doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, that's what it was. I asked a bunch of people, tried to look at what other top producers were doing, what were people doing that where I was going or wanted to go, and I didn't follow everything that they did, but like a chicken wing, I ate the good and spit out the bad,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, so you've obviously had a bold faith. I think you've always, every time I've sat down and talked to you, you've always kind of been like, it's just the Lord just blessing me, things of that nature. You've definitely given a lot of credit to the Lord. Talk about that, man. Like your faith story. Where's that confidence in the Lord come from? Because you take risk, and you're a guy that takes risks and dives in. But the Lord got your back. Talk about your faith a little bit with that.
So when going back to like when my wife and I talked about this adoption thing,
Yeah, I would love to hear more about that too.
that was not something that that I wanted. It was. I've got 2 boys at home now. Right now they are 14 and 11. Well, they'll be 11 in like a week, a couple weeks. But yeah, it was not something that I was prepared for. But
It's something she wanted.
Well, she went on a mission trip to China.
Really?
Yeah, she's a physical therapist, and this was like 2018, I think. November 2018, she went, and maybe 19. Anyway, it was during that time frame. She went to China, and again, like adoption was not something we were considering, but we both, my wife and I, have big hearts for kids, and it's just something that when you pray that prayer, God break my heart for what breaks yours. Yeah. Man, that's a really powerful one, and kids are always at the forefront of it.
Yeah.
So 6 months after she got back from China, she starts having dreams about this one child she saw at the orphanage that of 20 or 30 kids that were there, that there was no connection there while she was on the mission trip, but this one she just kept having dreams about. And so at the time, I'm a baseball coach, and in the middle, like in the season, I'm completely in a totally different universe, not engaged or not knowing what's going on at home or anything. So it was about playoff time when I'm like really focused. Now I'm going out and scouting other teams and doing all kinds of crazy stuff for high school baseball, which just now I'm putting things in perspective. Going, what were you doing?
You just go all in, bro. That's
all
Yeah.
in,
and everything.
But she said, "Hey, I'm praying about this. Just want to put this out there for you. Something to think about. I know you're in season right now, and we'll talk about this when it's over. But I'm thinking about adopting, and I'm just gonna be like." She just threw this out there so nonchalant. Like, I'm just gonna be fasting about it, excuse me, like we're not fasting.
She's
people.
going all in too, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, fasting is
Have
serious.
you ever fasted before?
I
Like,
have, yeah.
Yeah. Would like Dave fasting?
Oh, yeah.
Dave
I
does
love
it all the time. Yeah,
Okay.
he loves
That's
it.
a weekly
when you
occurrence.
fast, like
Yeah.
why do you fast?
Usually, I think for me, it's to hopefully hear from the Lord and give him space and eliminate distractions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, I think it's just a way to tune our hearts towards the Lord, and
Yeah.
take something out that might be,
In the
something we
way.
long for. Our flesh longs for food and longs for comfort. And so I find it a really enjoyable process of actually taking that out and giving more time to the Lord, things of that nature. So
Okay. All right.
What would you say then? What's your
Joey ready to
answer?
drop that.
Yeah.
He's ready to drop the knowledge.
What
I
is
wanted
it?
to get a question in,
Thanks, Joey.
I did
Thanks,
it.
Joey. Ask your questions. Yeah.
So,
Oh, man.
so fasting for me is not a routine. It is not something, again, I want to do.
Sure.
But I will do it when there's something
A need,
big on
yeah.
the line. Something like, okay, God, like I got to hear it. I got to know it's you. All right, I'm taking something away. It's not all food. Can't do that.
Sure.
It would be, a certain type of food or some type of something.
Sounds
I
like you
want.
and I are going to go on a fast together, Joey.
Wow.
Yeah. Like a 5-day.
5
Oh.
day?
Yeah, let's do it, bro.
He's intense. I've fasted like social media before.
Okay.
because I felt like I was giving too much time to that. So I think it doesn't all, but we could obviously talk about fasting and go into all of that. But then what happened when your wife said, I'm fasting? You were like, what?
So
I don't do that.
She just started fasting like any
Oh, she
sweets.
did. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So then, like, be it or any type of snacks like that was outside
Sure.
of a meal, right? Sure. So I'm a snack guy, and so
You are actually. Every time I come in your office,
Wait,
you're-
what's your favorite snack?
anything honestly that's salty or crunchy.
Salty, okay.
Yeah, salty and
you're a
crunchy.
snack guy for
Yeah.
sure.
So I would be, coming home and having some chips or something.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, baby, you want some? And she'd be like, no, I'm fasting. I'm just gonna say a prayer real quick. I went,
Oh,
oh man.
She's laying it on you.
Yeah, but again, I'm in the middle of the season
Yeah.
right now, like
Yeah.
going out scouting. Like we're trying to win a state championship.
Yeah.
So, all right. So she's doing this, and I'm picking it up. I'm seeing what she's doing, but it didn't hit me. And then we finally lose. We're done with the baseball season, and so as a coach, like after baseball season, I would feel like I was almost institutionalized, where I had to like take 30 days to get back into the real world. And baseball season ended, and it was about a week before Mother's Day that year that no, it was like the Friday before Mother's Day. She was like, so you haven't mentioned anything yet, haven't really been praying about this, been thinking about it. I went, oh no. So all right, yep, I'm on it. I'm opening up, I'm praying, and went to church, and we go to Transformation down the road in Derwin Grave.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he said that day, but God was there talking to me, and it was pretty obvious.
Wow.
I also, her Mother's Day gift that year was me printing out the adoption papers, going, hey, I'm ready to do this.
Oh,
and
my
she's like, you sure? I went, no.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But God's laying it on my heart that we got to do this. I'm not just following you in this, but God said, yeah, this is what you need to do. This is where I'm calling you.
Wow.
okay.
That quick, too.
And here's the crazy part. I don't know why I said this, but it was one of the first things I said after I said yes to adopting was, babe, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know we're going to have a really cool story to tell. And like that ruminates in my mind now after it didn't happen, and the disappointment
Yeah.
and just like grieving the loss of a child we never
Yeah.
had,
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we just pray that, we know that is God's child. It was never ours. Not in like even an earthly thing, but we were just praying to take care of this one kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? I mean, because you guys were set. Remember that time, man, praying through that. I mean, you were, going over there visiting and things like that. You guys were set on adopting this boy, and it was in your hearts, it was in your minds. This was happening, but it didn't happen. How do you guys deal with that? Really heartbreak. How do you deal with that? Because I think plenty of people,
Disappointment.
get
Yeah.
into life and say that's going to be mine, and it sometimes might be. But it just doesn't happen. Like, how do you guys continue to walk that out and, I guess, really kind of trust in the Lord and trust your own desires and things of that nature?
So I don't deal with it as easily as my wife does. I just tend to suppress things and, brush it under the rug, act like it
Yeah,
doesn't
you do.
exist.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about that.
Right. But I'm becoming much more aware of those disappointments and the grief, and I'm still figuring out how I deal with it. But when it does come up, actually, just listen to Ann Voskamp again at church this past week.
I'm
and
so bummed that I wasn't there because I'm obsessed with her. I've
She
read
is
all her
awesome.
books.
Mhm.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she is awesome. This time she was talking about basically dealing with disappointments.
No
and
way.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Should have been there.
Perfect message for right before the
Yeah.
podcast. God always has a fun way of doing things.
Here we go.
So she's talking about, it's we've heard this before from different pastors and things, but God's, weight room where you exercise your muscles is in the weight room, waiting on what to do,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And she said you can have crisis in the faith or faith in the crisis.
Yeah.
And so just the more and more, like, God's in there with you. He's in the fire with you. He's been there. He's, he nailed it to the cross. So, trying to find a way to give glory to God in whatever we're doing, and even if it's when you're extremely disappointed, sad, and grieving, and mad, and angry at God, or angry with, God would rather be angry with, he would rather you be angry with him than not just apathetically walk away from him, right?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you've got two awesome boys, and I know you're super involved as a father. You guys actually just went to Bahamas for a Boy Scouts trip, which sounds
that's
amazing.
right, the Boy Scout trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about just being a father, man. What's your joys in that? I think as I look at you, man, you're driven in everything you do. Like you're all in. You're all in with the retail. You're like, well, here we go. We're going to adopt. Even though I don't want to adopt, you're all in. So as a father, man, what's that look like for you to be all in and teach your boys what it looks like to be a man?
So with my boys, it's one thing I've clung to is the power of moments. Just the making any routine moment magical if you can. There's a book I've been reading, The Intentional Father, and it's just all about like the story. One story he was telling was about his son asking him what a cheesesteak was. He went, "Oh, you want a cheesesteak?"
Yeah.
And I can't remember where they lived, but it was not Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But that weekend they jumped on a plane and went to Philadelphia to get a actual Philadelphia cheesesteak.
That's
right?
amazing.
Like we're not going to the food court at the mall,
No.
right?
That's a memory for sure.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just to me, it's about finding or being present enough to recognize the moments that will matter the most.
Yeah.
So good. And then going all in on that. And a good old pastor David Chadwick used to say, "Kids spell love Time." Right, so it's not always the time that you spend with them, but it is that moment that you're spending with them and how you show up in that moment.
Yes, that power of presence. Yeah, I mean, like think about my old man, like that jerk was always there. He still is. I think he broke his back helping me out this past weekend. He's just constantly there. I'm like, "Hey, Pops." He's like, "Yeah, I'll be there." I'm like, "All right, whatever." Which I probably need to stop calling on that old man so much. He's always there. But power of presence, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a child's life. Was that something for you growing up?
Oh, we're going there?
You said anything is allowed.
You did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So growing up, I've got some, great fond memories as a baseball player. My dad was always my coach, and like the times I remember, the moments I remember mostly on the baseball field, or to or from the baseball field.
Yeah.
So lots of great memories there. Lots of great time spent, and there were some moments where it was like Dad didn't speak a whole lot. If he was speaking, I was leaning in, just going, he's talking. What is he talking about? Right? There's still a lot I don't know about my dad just because it's not an open book.
Yeah.
But yeah, the growing up, watching him do what he does, just busting his butt every day, but then showing up to be involved in coaching, baseball, whatever I was doing. Luckily for me, it was just always baseball, which my dad was a great player and, loved it, and I was a good coach.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
You're good with people, though. So, I mean, I think, like, you every time I've experienced you, it hasn't been like a leaning in, wondering what you're thinking. I think you're really good at communicating.
Yeah, you're very open, I feel like.
For the most part.
Yeah, when you're vulnerable, to other people tend to be vulnerable and lean in a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
It's easy to do that with people I don't know very well.
It's the people you know.
It's the people you know.
Interesting. Yeah. What about your mom?
My mom is a whole different story.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Again, growing up, I wouldn't have known any different, but just, you get older in life, and there's a lot of pain and hurt there in the past. That I've got 3 brothers and a sister.
Wow, okay.
That it was an interesting thing growing up and then becoming an adult, learning more and more about how things were actually, I guess, unfolding throughout my life. And yeah, it was not at all what I thought. So it definitely, that's one thing that I have struggled with. I've been through like counseling. Me and Dave, we've had some talks about it. And yeah, it's been it's been something that it's a grieving thing for me, you know, just knowing like what I thought growing up to what I know now, and trying to protect myself from any other hurts that, you know, from that. Yeah.
How do you encourage somebody that's had that experience that you know you've had?
So encouraging somebody through that experience, if they're bringing it up, then I'm going to go in deep with them, be vulnerable with them, know that like your situation may not be my situation, but I'm not going to act like I or pretend I know what you're going through. But here's the hurt I've had.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that the only way to heal for me through it is, one, to pray that the Holy Spirit come and, you know, just fill those parts of my heart that are broke, right? And two, show up to other people and reflect God's image to them and open up to them, because those broken pieces that I have, you know, I'm sure they have too. And talking about it tends to help, and just being there for them, you know?
Yeah.
What's that like relating to God on an intimate level when maybe those spaces that those spaces really probably weren't filled too much by someone who's really important as a mother, things of that nature, or even like your father sometimes trying to lean in and say, what's he talking about? What's that like then, trying to relate to God the Father, who, you know, he's not like sitting here speaking out loud a lot of times, right?
No.
So you got to really lean in when it comes to the Lord in that sense. So what's that like, trying to relate to the Father in that sense?
So I don't know why, but this just came to mind. There's this quote that I've heard long ago is, you'll never change the world by speaking louder or softer, only being heard. And when I think about, you know, back to fasting and all those things, like, I have got to get out of my own head and listen to, really open up and go, God, like, I've got nothing else. Like, you are it. And getting to that point of, you know, hitting rock bottom, or just feeling like you were completely empty and hopeless, is to me like a great spot. I hate being in that spot. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
But I have been there a couple of times now where I know when I've hit it, I'm actually grateful for it. I'm like, oh, thank you for this blessing. I know now that stripping out all that other stuff, that you're the only one. You're the only one who can comfort me, who can fill those spaces. And just relying on, fully relying on God is the only way to move forward.
Yeah, yeah. So I was actually, before we sat down, I was praying, and I was asking God to kind of highlight you. I asked him for a word. He gave me 2 words, and I was like, man, those are strong words. And so my question
Is one Achilles or...
My question was, why would God speak these words over you? Now, don't take this to offense. Like, I actually see them on you, but the 2 words are righteous and integrity. And when you hear those 2 words,
Those are big.
like, what comes to mind?
Well, integrity... Interesting, Dave. Interesting.
Or God, because he's the one that gave it.
Yeah, these were 2 big words just popped in my head as I got silent to listen to the Lord.
Yep. All right, integrity. That is probably one of the only, not the only, it is the loudest word I heard from my dad.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, you'll be a man of integrity.
Really? He spoke that a lot.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
Yep. Sure was. Sure is.
That's amazing.
How do you feel about the word integrity?
We've never talked about that, by the way, just so you know.
Yep.
Him and I have never talked about
Okay.
that.
Dave. All right.
Look, that's just
Putting on the big boy pants now.
That's just the Lord, man. I was like, I felt that. Okay, I'm going to ask you about that. And why? That was the question, was why?
When Dad first talked about it with me, it was, integrity is who you are when nobody else is in the room.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and that was the way he explained it to me. Is, I don't know how young I was, but that's how he explained it. And he said, above all else, you'll be a man of integrity. Yeah. I'm
Do you feel
not
like
even.
that's kind of a big weight to lay on a kid, or do you feel like you were able to take
No.
that and?
No, it to me it wasn't a big weight. It was more of a, I need a very clear vision forward to know where I'm going, right? And that narrowed the path. It was like, okay, you'll be a
Let's
man
do
of
it.
like
Yeah.
you're going to go the way of integrity.
Yeah.
You know, whatever choice you have in life, you're going the way of integrity.
Yeah.
So that was
What's that look like? I mean, obviously, doing the right thing when no one's looking, right? Integrity, righteous, things of that nature. How have you seen, whether it's the enemy, life, come against that? Try to strip you of that.
right. So at any time, I feel like it's any time that I try to put insert myself into, like for a loan officer, into a transaction. You know, when I'm trying to win a deal or I'm trying to, I've had one moment early on as a loan officer that I was getting hungry. You know, as I was going, this is at the point of 100% commission and didn't have a whole lot of loans going on, we may not get paid this month.
Yeah.
And went up against a builder's lender that just had an incredible deal. And I tried to finagle, you know, the deal and sell it in a way. And it wasn't but maybe 30 minutes after I talked to the borrower, went through this situation. I called him back and went, "Sir, I'm sorry. Don't, like, whatever I said, don't listen to anything I just said.
Disregard. Yeah.
Disregard that. That deal is better. You'll go that route."
Wow.
Wow.
But it was
It's a lot of humility to be able to kind of go back on what you said.
yeah, sure. But what I said initially, I should have never have said
Yeah.
because it was about me, you know. And so I learned at that moment and if any, as I was asked, you know, what are you doing, you know, and how are you being so successful? It's like, guys, I'm going to tell you the only thing I know to do right now that's successful is to remove myself from the transaction so I can give the people the best advice possible. And also just lean in to, you know, listen to their wants and needs and make sure you show up for them. And if you don't have what it takes to provide, like I don't have the product or service to provide it for them, put them in touch with the people who do.
Yeah.
You know, just take myself
Wow.
out.
I honestly feel like, and not that this is the only reason for your success, but I feel like because of what your dad ingrained at you at such a
for
young
sure.
age, that is a huge part of why you've been so successful because you've stayed on that narrow path. And I feel like it's interesting that he taught you that as a kid, which I don't know that I've ever been told by anyone, much less my parents, which I love my parents. But like, that's a big thing to tell your kid, right? And it's rare. I would also say that. But it's interesting that you ended up in mortgages where integrity is something that a lot of people have a hard time holding to in this business. So I will say that, you know, you say, I don't know what sets me apart. I feel like that's exactly what sets you apart,
For sure. And
which
you
is really cool.
I love it too. You think about like just the power of that moment, whether you knew what it was or not. Really, did you? You know, you probably didn't know that was going to be what marked you.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, I had no
For the rest of
idea.
your
Gosh, yeah.
No idea. That was a seed planted long ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's just so beautiful. I think just the weight of the power of words, right? I mean, obviously, if you read any of the Bible, the Lord spoke things into existence, and so words are powerful. But as a father or a parent, mother or father, the power of words in a child is just so impactful. Like, you know, and you know, realistically, like, how many other moments do you remember your dad speaking like that?
Oh, not many.
Right.
Not many at all.
It's very few. It's very few, but it's amazing how that will set you on a trajectory of where you're going. And so, you know, for me as a father, I've got 2 boys, 2 girls. It's like, man, I've got the opportunity to either do something really good, well for them, like set them on a trajectory that works incredibly well for them, or I could mess this up. I mean, obviously, you know, God has a plan for their lives, but He did give me responsibility of them right now, and you know, it's
And what are you speaking into them?
for sure, yeah. Like what kind of things, you know, is it? Are you? And here's another thing I think that I tend to try to do a lot is, Lord, what do you want me to speak into them? You know, because there's gifts that my son Uriah has, and Elias, and then there's gifts that my daughter Ruby and I'll have that I'm like, I don't have those, and what are they? You know, so how do I speak those things into them? Tell me what they are, you know?
Oh, yeah.
What's that look like
Yeah.
for you as a father when it comes to speaking words into your children?
Gonna start with some prayer for sure. Start with some prayer, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
say, hey God, I don't know what I'm supposed to say right now, so I'm gonna let you do the talking.
Yeah.
Whatever comes out of my mouth, God, I pray that they are your words and not mine, because I don't have the words to say right now. And then listen really closely to what comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're ever unsure, pray that prayer first and see what happens.
Yeah,
That's
no doubt.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Can I ask a random question?
Oh, yeah,
Is
Jen
it
loves
time?
doing it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I just like to throw out random questions that he's not aware of, and then it makes him nervous.
Me?
Yeah, I feel like you
Okay,
get
all
nervous
right.
every time.
Here we go.
So I've asked this one other time, but when it was funny because when we prayed before this episode, that same question came to mind, which maybe I already know what the answer is, but when you were like a little kid, what was like your dream job?
Oh, I was a professional baseball
You
player
were
my
like,
whole life. Yeah.
just straight out the womb. You were like, I'm gonna be a baseball player.
Yep.
Where do you think that came from?
I have no idea. No clue whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Man, that's
Just-
a trend in your life. I'm seeing.
It is. Yeah.
It's I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was ingrained from me as a baby. But yeah, from the first pictures I've ever seen of myself, I had a baseball or a bat in my hand
my
or
gosh,
something.
how cute. Yeah.
And yeah, I just loved it. Loved everything about it. The practice, the working, the
Yeah.
lessons it taught me. Yeah.
Well, and then you actually got to do it, and then you actually got to coach. So then you did get your dream job, but then ultimately now you're in mortgages, which it's interesting that I think when we're kids, we have this idea too of like how our life is going to look like, right? And I wanted to be like a marine biologist or something ridiculous that every kid wants to be. And obviously here we are, right? So like God, I feel like he does plant dreams in our hearts as kids, but then they don't always maybe look how we think they're going to. So I love that you ended up getting to do that, but then also now you're getting to experience something different that you could have probably never dreamed up. Like nobody ever, I don't think, thinks, no offense, but I'm going to be in the mortgage industry and
Anna
and
Benz
sell
said
loans.
she was.
Anna Benz
Anna Benz
did
was
say
like 16
she
years
did.
old. She's like, I'm going for it. But
Okay,
hey.
maybe just Anna. But I love that you ended up in the mortgage industry. And the other side part question to this is like, so you've been here 4 years. What do you love about it, and why do you stay here at Movement?
So I tell everybody the reason that what I love about Movement and why I'm never leaving is they've got their mission is the same as my mission. It's just to love
Yeah.
and value people. Just to pour into people and reflect Jesus' love and image to this world. I pray that people see Jesus in me and not me.
Yeah. I pray that a lot too.
So in making that transition from teaching and coaching to
Yeah.
mortgages, it was a fast that I did that opened up.
Oh, you fasted. There you go.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it
That's-
came back
I
up
remember,
again.
I remember that's why we got on that initially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a 30-day. It wasn't a 30-day.
Wow.
It was a fast until I knew.
Wow.
Yeah, try that one with no deadline. That's not fun.
Those are dangerous.
Dang.
I'm like, the only thing I can think of in scripture is when like those dudes were like, we're going to fast until we kill the apostle Paul. I'm like, that's a long time because that joker didn't,
He
die for a long
didn't.
time. Like, I'm pretty sure all those dudes probably died. Oh my gosh.
Oh my word.
So through
okay,
that
so you
time,
fasted.
I heard, not heard, but it was planted in my heart, just knowing that these were the words from God. It was this whole process of like, okay, I'm going to start. Any good plan starts with the end, so I'm going to the end. I'm going to Jesus's feet in heaven. Life's over. I'm going to
Wow.
hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That sounds really cool, right? But God, what does that mean for me?
Yeah.
How am I going to be a good and faithful servant? And
Oh, that's a good. I'm gonna write that down.
and it's clear as day though. But like
Yeah.
what I heard from there was, Joey, I just want you to be the world's best dad and greatest husband you can be to your wife and kids. And through that you'll reflect Jesus' image to this world. My son's image to this world, and went, oh, okay. So now every decision I make is this decision go like on the path of world's greatest dad, world's greatest husband? If so, great. And so I remember, like, in the interview here, I was
Yeah.
asked, like, so
Who interviewed you?
Brandy Floyd.
Okay.
So she asked, like, the 5-year plan, or, this typical interview questions, right? And I went, look, I'm not giving you an answer for this that you want to hear. I'm just going to tell you I'm here because I'm on a mission to be the world's greatest dad and world's greatest husband. And I
Wow.
think this opportunity is on that same path. It leads me to that.
That's cool.
Yeah. To be the
I
world's greatest
love
dad.
that.
Yeah.
You're probably the only person that's ever answered that
That's
question
exactly
that way.
what she said. I've never heard that before. Wow. Might be the best answer I've ever heard.
Yes, you're hired.
I love it. So then you'd say you're right now walking out your dreams.
Walking out my dreams.
Talk
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for you, I mean, because like we tend to ask people, a life well lived. That's always the question we tend to ask people near the end. Is like, looking back on it, what's a life well lived for you? I mean, you're in that. Sounds like then.
So, I'm not satisfied easily,
Yeah. No, you're definitely not.
and again, that tolerance for risk, sounds like a fun adventure and everything, but it's also super dangerous, and meaning that I don't know what's next. So like if you looked at my resume, it was like I graduated college, went to be, this mobile marketing guy for Sharpie markers. I went to cut cars in half for Linux Tools, and then just from there, I had an economic downturn. Our program got cut, and I went, what do I do now? Well, I'm just going to go be a physician liaison, marketing liaison for sleep company. And it was then, let's quit that and be a baseball coach and teacher. And then,
Wow.
okay, now that's over. Let's get into mortgages. Like, I'm going to tell you, I don't have a plan.
Yeah.
My plan is to go wherever God leads me. I love the image of walking through the valley of the shadow of death. I'll fear no evil. That whole thing to me is staying as close as you can to Jesus. You're a shepherd, just knowing like what's all around. Wherever he's going, he's leading me. I'm going.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that is next.
Yeah. Love it.
Okay, wait. Before we end, I have
go
one
ahead.
more question because this is really important. You need to tell us about your shoes
Oh.
and like what and what your shoes have to do with you and your
My-
business.
My shoes are
That's a
only.
great question, Jen. I have no idea where it came from.
You
but I love
don't?
it. Yeah, go
Oh,
for
this
it.
is like a thing, isn't it?
It is a thing.
It's
Yes.
a
There
real
we go. Good.
thing.
It's a real
Yeah.
thing, yes.
Yeah.
Because as a teacher and a coach making, like $40,000, $50,000 a year, it was whatever shoes were given to me or were the cheapest ones, and just hoping they were comfortable enough, But then starting, a movement around a whole bunch of these knuckleheads
Yes.
here that have I'm
That's
like,
true.
what
Jake,
are these shoes?
Montel.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Right.
Dallas.
Right.
Just shoes.
Shoes everywhere.
So I'm gonna blame Montel mainly for this,
All right.
because I'm not sure how long it was that I was here, but I was constantly asking about these shoes, like what are these, and how do you even know the difference? How can you say what Jordans those are just by looking at them from 500 feet away? And so Montel then gave me my first pair.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that part about
Yeah,
the story.
He discipled you in the shoe game.
Yeah. He was like, he called me up. He was like, "Hey Joe, what size shoe do you wear?" I went, 12. Why do you ask? He's like, "All right, cool," because he also wears a 12.
Oh,
So
nice.
he had this pair that he said they hurt his feet, and so he's giving them to me, and there were some Jordan 11 cherries, reds that just
So cool.
so cool, right? But after that, I put those on, and I realized I had no idea what comfort was before.
Game over for
Game
him.
over. Yeah.
But also the cool factor.
Cool factor, but yeah. So then the reason that I kind of went. Now I did not go deep into this. I do not have a closet full of shoes. I am not. I mean, if you've seen Dallas Tarleton's collection,
Oh my
it's,
gosh.
right.
It's a volcano's worth.
Definitely envious of that. But I probably have 12 or 15 pairs now,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
That's a lot, bro.
It's a lot now, yeah, it's a lot.
And it's become part of like your
It's-
personal branding, right?
And the main reason is because as I started wearing those shoes, was not me, obviously. These are loud shoes that people are like, "Yo, nice shoes."
Yeah.
Went, "Hey, look, man, these are not me." But I'm going to tell you, I work at this place that all these people got these shoes, and I fell in love with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, yeah, where do you work? Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm a loan officer at Movement Mortgage.
Yeah,
Happy to
it's
help
a
you.
conversation starter.
Definitely,
Big
yeah.
time. Dude,
Mhm.
you know what you do really well with those shoes? You rock a great knee sleeve with those shoes, too.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
You never see this man anywhere without his knee sleeve on.
I
Just-
haven't noticed, and
just-
I
yeah, no.
definitely noticed the shoes, and I think it's just a cool, different way. I mean, I feel like we can wrap this up, but like LOs are talking all the time about personal branding and like what that means and what that looks like, and I just think it's something that differentiates you, and that you're actually using it, but you're also not all over social media either. So it's more like a word of mouth way to connect with people and way to start a conversation. So
Yeah.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
great. I support it.
Well, awesome. Joey, thanks so much for hopping on the deep end with us. Appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, man. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you have any questions, please email us at thedeependwithdaveandjen@gmail.com. We'll see you back soon for the next episode of The Deep End.